What's up, buddy?
So I've heard you talk about this to a couple of other reporters. You sort of addressed it. Was that a week? And the camera there, very good. That's the thumbnail. I get the sense that you're kind of a little bit pissed off that people are sort of thinking you're sitting on the sidelines for the sake of it. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, because I'm not. I mean, you guys, anybody that knows me and knows who I am as a fighter knows that I don't want to just sit on the sidelines and talk about fighting. I'm still young. I'm still healthy. I want to be in there. It's just injury that kept me out. I mean, and the fight with Al, when he fought Khabib, that was my fight. So it's like, okay, I had no choice but to not fight for that one. So that was in April. Then I finally got matched up. It was supposed to be in what, August? July. And it got moved up a week. And then I broke my arm. So I would have potentially fought, even if I did still lose to Perry and didn't break my arm, I still would have fought a third time that year. And it's just, it didn't work out that way.
Is it even more frustrating having to watch and analyze fights and sitting there and you're so close to the thing you love? It's like, I can only imagine that amplifies it even more.
Yeah, that's what makes it a little painful, is you see all these guys, they get their wins. You see them at the hotel with their families celebrating, eating food, you're thinking like, oh, I want to go through that process again. And you want those ups and downs. And when you're going through them, you don't think you want that. And then you see it happen and you're so jealous. You start getting jealous of guys on fight week cutting weight because you know how good it's going to feel when they make the weight and it's over. And I haven't been through that in so long. So even going through this process right now, that's, we're at the crappy part of this whole thing. I'm still enjoying it. I've been in pretty good spirits all week just to be back in a fight week.
Do you think that gives you almost an advantage in the fight? You've got a little pep in your step. You're happy. You can't believe you're back here. Does that almost... It's like taking the pressure off, right? You're so excited to be doing what you love again. Does that help you in the fight?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, better that than, okay, I fought 4 times this year. I got to cut this weight again. I just want to get in there and do this. For me, it's like, oh, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I'm like, oh, shit, I get to do this again, And then to come back and get the spot that they're giving me in the co-main event against a ranked opponent like James Vick. And even though he's coming off a big loss, it's a huge opportunity. He's got a big number next to his name that, I'm trying to go out there and take this Sunday night.
What do you make of James? So did you see any of his open workout yesterday? Did you happen to catch any of that?
No, I didn't see much of it. I saw some pictures. I saw he's in a hoodie and stuff. So I know the weight is going to be an issue as always. So that's why I purposely went out there and wore basically nothing but my pair of tights and underwear, showing everybody, look, I came in shape and ready for this fight. I could have done that fight on that stage right now. I know he couldn't have fought me last night on that stage. I know he's not going to be able to fight me if I started throwing bows right now here on this stage, and I can get through a fight right now. So we'll see, but I think he is big, and when he does rehydrate, I think he's the bigger guy in there, so that's why I'm trying to have speed on my side for this fight.
Yeah, I mean, your combinations at the workouts were super fast, and technically it seems like there's a low calf kick and maybe a big up top punch to follow up. Do you think that's sort of like what Gaethje got him with, right? Just marched forward and got him. Is that, and not to give away your game plan, but is that the tactic here?
Well, there's some of that. There's some of that in there, and that's always in my arsenal, whether it's James Vick or it doesn't matter who I'm fighting. But one of the things we really focused on for this one too was just, smart movement. We looked at a lot of like really good old school Thai guys and how they use their elbows, because you'll see a lot of Thai guys have jacked up some really tall opponents, especially when the Europeans came over to Thailand. Some of them, the way they come over the top stays so relaxed. That's something, even more than giving away any game plan, just staying relaxed in the fire is something that we're really focused on in this, because I got to get in there. There's going to be exchanges. So we've accepted that already, that I'm going to have to come through some adversity, not necessarily get hurt, but know that I've got to keep my eyes open and move forward through some stuff.
Right, so bigger picture here, Khabib seems like he wants to sit out as some sort of loyalty to his teammates, which I think people can appreciate loyalty. But as a fighter you're trying to get that title, I asked Aljamain Sterling this as well, is it getting a little bit tiresome to see division after division just sort of get curdled at the top and those opportunities? Like, is it getting a bit frustrating? Yeah,
I think it is, right? I mean, and I think a lot of it, even the UFC is getting frustrated that they have to do it because all these things are coming up, whether it's suspensions or injuries, a last-minute hernia in Whitaker. It's just like, holy shit, man, we can't get a champion to stay consistent, or Jones with all his troubles. And it's just, and then we got double champs all over the place, right? Everybody wants to be a double champ. And hey, I take nothing away from them. If I can become a double champ, you're goddamn right I want to be a double champ too. So that's not putting anybody down that is a double champ. I respect that. But yeah, it's making it hard. There's a roadblock at the top of a lot of these divisions. So hopefully we can get back on track in 2019, get some champions out there that can consistently start defending their belts, giving the contenders opportunities to move up and down these ranks.
I'm not asking you to talk shit about the UFC, but do you think maybe they sort of got a bit of shoulder of that to blame because they make those fights, right? And we're sort of entering with ESPN, it's almost like the entertainment era, right? It's about what's the biggest matchup as opposed to maybe what's the most logical matchup with the rankings. Do you think the only way we can get sort of past this is if they go back to the traditional system of number one fights, number two, and so on and so forth?
I mean, I think they could, but I think that with the way it's going and what people want to see, I don't think that's ever going to happen. And if you look at boxing too, whenever somebody became a champion of boxing, they never really fought the next best guy. The champion was given a few guys so that he was the champ for a little bit. And then after a while, when he was the champ, you look at Tyson and stuff like, then they would finally get that big fight to fight the guy that deserved it. So
even today.
Yeah. So I mean, it's nothing new, right? It's a system we've seen happening in combat sports for a long time, and I think it's one that we're probably going to continue to see. And I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it.
Well, that feels like too depressing a note to end this interview on, so I'm going to have to ask something a bit nicer now. Yeah. What's your perfect Sunday now? I'm joking. How do you see this fight going? You've said you're going to have to take a few blows. I noticed he said something on stage yesterday. He said, I could beat a decision with this guy no matter what. He said, I'm looking for the finish, but I know I can get a decision. I can beat him in a decision. I've never heard a fighter really say that. It doesn't exude masses of confidence, maybe.
You will never, ever in your life hear me say, well, I know I can win a decision. Guess what? My losses tend to usually be split decisions because guys are moving away and that's how they want to win. But we know that. We know that there's a chance that he's going to try to kick and use that range. He's so long, he knows it's going to be difficult for anybody to get in on him. Guess what? We're going to get in there and we're going to land something. And I'm not looking for a decision on Sunday. Could I win one? Yeah, I guess. But that has not been the game plan for 1 second of this training camp. If you talk to Duke right now, he's fired up about people getting finishes. We've had a rough go here at our team over at Rufus Sports. So he's got us on one to get back to violent actions in the cage.
That's more like it. Thanks very much.
Yeah, that's a good way to